Hi everyone, Morten Åstad here. Welcome to my channel. In today's video, I am going to be talking about the band A-ha. Yes, I'm going all in for my Norwegian roots, so to speak, my Scandinavian heritage. I always said I'm not going to be the Scandinavian guy in the vinyl community who talks about A-ha, but I'm going to have to. Yesterday I picked up with my second favorite A-ha album of all time on vinyl. I don't have a ton of A-ha on vinyl because CDs, but some years back, right after I got a turntable again, I did pick up their first two albums on vinyl, and I will show you those in a second. First, a little bit on where else can you see on YouTube, etc., stuff about A-ha if you are curious or want to remind yourself or thinking, yeah, what happened to them? Because a lot of American people in the vinyl community seem to be surprised when I see other videos or they react to something I've said in earlier videos, because I have talked about A-ha in one or two iterations in previous videos. Or I've commented about something when people have mentioned Norwegian bands or Scandinavian bands, and a lot of Americans will go, "Oh yeah, I remember those one-hit wonders, and what happened to them." And if you check out the Professor Rock's channel, he has a video called "Why the Hell Are They Called One-Hit Wonder?" They have sold over 100 million units of records. Is that what? Really? And do they even exist anymore? Yes, they do. On and off. The band's first sort of nucleus, I think, was around 1977, when this was either when he wrote that famous song, or he and his friend Magne, or Mags as he was called in English-speaking countries, Mags and Paul, Paul, or Pål in Norway, Paul Voktor, met Magne Furuholmen, maybe even earlier. I don't remember that part of the story. And then later on, when they sort of, I think they initially were quite prog inspired, these kids, and then they later on, when Morten Harket came on as on vocals, he was the one maybe who even championed the use of the song, because Paul and Magne thought it was too catchy and too evidently poppy, and didn't want to do a juicy fruit type commercial song. But they did get into record companies, walking around doing that, and they really realized that they would have to get out of Norway in order to achieve some sort of success. Norway is a very small market. We don't have the then, and we don't have it now, the music industry muscle that, for example, our neighbor Sweden do. So they went and lived a fairly impoverished existence in London, trying to shop their records around, and finally they did manage to get a foot in the door, I think, with Warner. And in 1994 they released their first single, and it flopped. It flopped bad. And how can a song that catchy flop? Well, if you find that initial video they recorded for that first version of Take On Me, you will realize that knowing what you know already know, that wasn't very good. And also it has a very odd sound, very echoey and strange. And they managed to get people on board with re-releasing it and reworking it, and they got a music video savant to work with them. And of course, the rest is history. We got that wonderful, amazing video. Take On Me is an amazing pop song, of course, and it was a big hit all over the place. But the big thing was that it made it to #1 on the Billboard singles list in the United States. And of course, you would think that that would break them into America completely. But something went wrong. Their next excellent single, The Sun Always Shine on TV, made it to #20. Now, that is a hit single, so already there, VH1 and everyone else who makes programs about one-hit wonders and mentions A-ha have already made a fallacy, because they actually had 2 hit singles in the US. And their debut album, which I will now show you, was of course Hunting High and Low, and it was a huge success. Not only in 85 when it came out, but it carried on in 86, making top marks on lists elsewhere, actually in 86 as well. And I think it reached, reached #10 on the US lists. It made it to #2 in the UK. They were nominated for Best New Foreign or New Act. Was it the Grammys, I think? They lost to Sade. But this is an excellent album, and it did really well elsewhere as well. The third single did nothing in the States, but did more of an impact elsewhere. This album ended up so far having sold 11 million copies. If you only know A-ha from Take On Me, you really ought to check this out. I will also quickly show you one example of the single Take On Me, which is this, and there's the back. It's funny how the video for The Sun Always Shine on Me TV is actually a continuation of sorts, where he I think he reverts to cartoon character, and the relationship with the girl from the first video ends, and then the video transitions to him singing in a church, I think it was. Anyway, guys, so after this, they released Scoundrel Days. Now, I'm going to show the rest of their CDs mainly on, their records mainly on CD, because that's what I have. I don't want to see myself descend to the shadow side again. So, this is my deluxe edition of Hunting High and Low. And among the bonus tracks, of course, you can listen to various takes, for example, on Take On Me, that initial single, and so on. So I don't have my old CD anymore. And then, of course, came Scoundrel Days. I have Scoundrel Days on vinyl. But I only have the inner sleeve over there. Over there, the actual record is up on my wall, and with autographs and everything, and you'll hopefully see that there. So Scoundrel Days, of course, came out on CD. This is my favorite A-ha album. I think it's excellent. It only made it to 75 in the US. And I don't understand what happened in the US, because they very, very quickly got no help at all. The record company seems to have dropped the ball on them very much, and they were actively ignored by MTV for some reason. I don't know why. I'll get into that when we reach later date. This Scandal Days sold about 6 million copies in worldwide. Again, made it to number 2 in the UK. And then came Stay on These Roads. This was their third album, of course, then, and it has sold over 4 million copies worldwide. Also made it to number 2 in the UK, so they had 3 number 2 albums in the UK in a row. This included the song from the James Bond film, which was, of course, The Living Daylights. I think the version here is slightly different, more the way Paul wanted it. The music producer for all the James Bond's music had his take on this. And I think this was one of those around that time when especially Duran was showing some quite severe animosity towards A-ha. They didn't like them following in their footsteps, and while they were, doing Arcadia and stuff, and then also doing a James Bond song. No, I don't think they like that at all. Fourth album, East of the Sun, West of the Moon. This again sold, I think, up towards 3 million copies worldwide. Probably more so in countries like Switzerland and Germany. And this is around this time when their popularity really starts to kick in South America. So much so that also this compilation came out and did quite well. Now, Rock in Rio in 1991, their performance sold out, and the world was shocked. No one understood what was going on. You had Guns N' Roses and some other acts who drew around 60,000 people on their nights. A-ha drew 190 odd thousand in their crowds, and they were shocked, and everyone was shocked, and everyone during that festival were interviewed. All the bands were interviewed. A-ha was consistently ignored, and Paul apparently found out later that the journalists for MTV told their higher ups, these guys are drawing 3 times as many people as the other acts here. We need to interview them, and they were ordered not to. I don't know why, how that went about, but that is the story. Then comes 1993, and we get the wonderful, probably their most adult album up until then. Didn't do that well commercially. Far lower than the previous album. Memorial Beach is a wonderful album, and ended up being their last album. They basically broke up after this. Some call it a hiatus, but that was all she wrote in a way. But they did perform a little bit further into their, their breaking up. Not least because they performed for the 1994 Winter Olympics here in Norway. They also wrote a song for the Paralympics that year. And then things were quiet for a while, but towards the end of the decade, they performed live for the first time in many years at the Nobel Peace Prize concert here in Oslo. However, in the meantime, the guys were busy elsewhere. With what? Well, Morten released this excellent solo album, and like many have said, why he didn't become an international megastar. I mean, good looking, angelic voice. This is an excellent solo album. I listened to Wild Seed far more than I did, for example, Memorial Beach a while, when I rediscovered Memorial Beach a little later. But this was his absolute most amazing solo album. And I remember there was a song also about East Timor here, which I thought was at the time was very poignant. His later stuff has been more for the Norwegian market. He's a Christian man, so he's recording music in that vein and in Norwegian. Also tried his hand at acting a little bit. Mags, I don't have any of his solo stuff. He has done some work with some guys from, I think, Radiohead, but mostly he's been working in a producing capacity and as a visual artist, as a painter and sculptor, I think, as well. But Paul, he got married, changed his name to Paul Voktar Savoy. Savoy is his American wife's surname, and they started a project together and a band called Savoy. And this wonderful debut, Mary's Coming, they had the song, what was it again? Yeah, the song Velvet, which was, I think, Morten, who demanded later on that A-ha would re-record. They also made this one. This is probably my favorite Savoy. So if you really like A-ha and you're curious about them beyond their albums, I would very much recommend that you check out Savoy. Those records are also available on vinyl. You had this one, and they have recorded 3 or 4 more. I only have these and a compilation album. So after these concerts, they did end up recording again, and we went on sort of a reunion tour. And their reformed debut is a wonderful album. It's Minor Earth and a Major Sky. Did well in Germany. It's as advertised on Sat.1. Werbung am Sat.1. So excellent return there. Another wonderful here. Lifelines. Strong album again. Sound-wise, not a million miles away maybe from Memorial Beach. Quite adult. More guitar, contemporary rock-ish, I suppose. This is another excellent. What is this again? Yeah, this was another excellent. This is Analog, and you see that they are still very much on top form and everything. Then we got a live album. How Can I Sleep with Your Voice in My Head? And then came their final album, it would seem, with the wonderful, and this is my second favorite of they went back to a more synth sound, like I think Paul said, the band that we identify from our time period isn't, those Duran Durans and so on. It's Depeche Mode. So I think this album really says that a lot, and it's Foot of the Mountain. And I got that signed by the band here in Oslo when I bought it. So we have reached, is it 2009? I still didn't have a turntable, so that's why this one is on CD and signed, and I didn't get a signed vinyl then. And then they sort of broke up again, I suppose, or went on hiatus, and things were quiet. They had performed, by the way, at Live 8 in Berlin, and the Berlin version. They had so many sound problems that Morten stopped the music and asked, there were no sound on the ear thing and whatever. And yeah, they were told, yeah, just talk for a minute, and 1 minute ended up being 7 minutes, and then when the sound was fixed, they just played one song, and then they were told to get off the stage. So they performed half of what they were supposed to do. That was a very, yeah, I thought that was kind of a bum. But they did reform and play some gigs again, and we got a new album. This isn't exactly my favorite, I would say. I still had Foot of the Mountain very fresh in mind, and I thought this was kind of a step back to earlier stuff. So we got Cast in Steel. Was that in 2015? Yeah, that was Cast in Steel. By the way, they're on Universal by now. The Warner days are well and truly over. And then back in 21, we got... or rather 22, we got this wonderful thing, which I both do and do not own on CD. There's a CD in here, but you know, this is the vinyl deluxe edition with this odd download chip card for the film they made for this, with the wonderful, spectacular visuals from around Norway, but also it has a live photograph. So that was their story so far, and the reason that I called you all here today is to show you the record. I wanted this on vinyl because, like I said, it is my second favorite A-ha album. Up until recently, the copies of this being sold on the second-hand market were quite expensive. So I was very happy that they re-released Foot of the Mountain. As you can see, this is 15th anniversary edition for the first time on vinyl in crystal clear, strictly limited edition. So I've seen it online 2 places. At I think the sort of the Warner Universal, or whatever it's called, the Universal website sent me an email, but that would mean I would had to have ordered it from another country with customs and everything. But then Platekompaniet here in Norway also had it on their website. It was supposed to, because I pre-ordered it, so I think it's three weeks late. So I'm very happy it arrived now, because I might be going to Denmark in a couple of days. Yeah, so again, very synthy, surprising. You sort of look at the date, that this was in 2009, and I think, and you might think, wow, this sounds like, you know, it's great that sound that you might remember from maybe your youth or your early 20s or whatever, that it actually can somehow be kind of replicated, and they really did with this. So there you are. Really excited to be playing this on my turntable. I mean, they are my favorite Norwegian band. There are some other contenders. There were a couple of bands who also went to the to the UK, and did chart over there. There was a band. They had a very you'd think they had a very Norwegian sounding name, but the name didn't make any sense in Norwegian either. They were called, in Norwegian I would say Fra Lippo Lippi. I don't know how you would say it in English. I can't remember anyone say it in English, but Fra Lippo Lippi. Yeah, but another excellent Norwegian pop band, by the way. So I love you see the artwork there. That's reminiscent of rosemaling, rose painting, an old sort of 17th, 1800s Norwegian rural traditional painting wooden and ceramic bowls and other things with these beautiful rose patterns. So that was that. I hope you enjoyed this. That was a run through the discography and hopefully a little listen, unless I have to remove it, of A-ha. And in my opinion, they're definitely their best post first breakup album, but yeah, it is my second favorite album. It bumped Hunting High and Low off the number 2 peg some years ago. Not that that isn't a wonderful album, it really is, but Scoundrel Days to me is still my absolute favorite A-ha album. I think it's stood the test of time, and I just urge you to check out the discography beyond that Take On Me single. Check out yeah, go to Professor Rock and check out that video he made about them as well. And if you want to click like, that helps my channel. If you want to join me and subscribe, like quite a few of you have done the last few months, that makes me happy. Please leave a comment, and I hope to see you soon in another video. Bye.